Fred has been in the real estate industry for 60 years. Fred is a developer, property owner. He has handled anything from apartment complexes, and I mean large Memorial Drive apartment properties, to office buildings, to retail. And he has a very expensive residential property that has been an irritant to him for the last 15 years. And so he can tell a little bit about his experiences. Fred has been in hearings. He's done hearings. He sat in as an expert witness. He does a fantastic job as an expert witness in lawsuits. He is sued on practically every property he has I've been working with him for 17 years. And so I know we've been doing that every year forever and ever. And it's just a rotating situation, right back to where it was. We go in, fight the hearing, get it reduced, go into litigation, get it reduced the way it's supposed to be, or close to it. And so Fred is one of these tireless people. He will not give up, and these are the kind of people we need up here, and letting the ARB know what's going on.
All right, so why don't we, on the principal property that you're dealing with here, why don't you give us a basic description of the property and what the issues were that you are addressing?
The property that I'm concerned about, of course, is the property that I live at, which is 8 Asbury Place. And the value of the improvement is $600,000. It's on 3.5 acres, and they put a value on the land at $3.5 million. And I'm saying to them, for tax purposes, and they fail to understand, for tax purposes, a dwelling, single-family residence must be rated as a dwelling. And you don't have a dwelling in any way, shape, or form that you have $600,000 on the house and $3.5 million on the land. The land is subject to the value of the house because nothing else can be put on that land of 3.5 acres but that house, and it controls the value of the land. I would like to point out that right now the taxes on my home are $50,000 a year. They should be more like $6,000 a year.
Let me ask you this. Are there some floodplain or floodway issues associated with some of this land?
Of the 3.5 acres, the 1.5 acres is in the flood easement.
But could you give us some insight, Doug? Is this a high commercial area and they're basically valuing the land at a commercial value?
The land is not commercial land. It's residential land. He's right. This thing is in the floodway and the floodplain. And what they're doing is they're trying to pull frontage off of Memorial Drive and put that on his property, which is way off of Memorial back. And so I've argued this property for years and years and years. And
Have you sued on this property?
Oh, we sued every single
Have
day.
you won on your lawsuit?
Yes, we have.
Doug, could you give some explanation as to what the Harris County Appraisal District is using to justify a property that is in both the floodway, which thou shalt not build, and the floodplain, which is subject to building under certain provisions? What are they using to justify that magnitude of value on the land, which is essentially, exclusively, in reality, residential?
The good question. The Harris County Appraisal District is placing on Fred's property, land-wise, the same as if that property were on Memorial Drive and had frontage at $40 a square foot, say, for example. Fred's property is back 2 to 3 blocks off of Memorial Drive, but you might as well, as far as they're concerned, have taken that property and moved it up 3 blocks, fronted it right on Memorial Drive, and that's the way we're valuing it. So we're starting that every year. We go right back to the very same thing, and we have to prove the case. Doesn't make any difference. Sometimes they can see it, and sometimes they will give us a little bit of reduction. Sometimes they don't.